Okay, so Donald Trump, he's over in the UK doing a state visit, visited the Queen, met Charles and Camilla, and let's see how the Australian TV news people are covering it.
Well, controversy was destined to follow Donald Trump on his state visit to the UK, but he added fuel to the fire even before he landed with a tweet calling London's mayor a stone-cold loser.
You have to say it in the Trump voice.
Stone-cold loser.
Stone-cold loser. 7 News Europe correspondent Laurel Irving is at Buckingham Palace, where Donald Trump is having dinner with the Queen right now. Laurel, morning. There's no love lost between the US president and the London mayor, and the London mayor is very left-wing, and obviously Trump is very right-wing. How has this tweet gone down?
Well, I don't blame the guy. I don't really like that Sadiq Khan. He was famous for saying that terrorism is something that is going to be part and parcel of living in a big city, which I think is totally wrong. So, on Donald Trump. I'm a bit of a fan of Trumpy, He just says it how it is, hey? So, I'm a bit like that. I don't like BSing around. I don't like the politics. I just like to get to the point, and Donald Trump definitely gets to the point, doesn't he? He doesn't mince words.
Yes, Shadiq Khan's been a long-term critic of Donald Trump's. Look, this tweet has certainly dominated the first few hours of Donald Trump's arrival here. But then the pomp and ceremony really took over. I mean, these things are so meticulously planned, and it was such a busy day, and almost everything was public that in the end it was kind of overshadowed by everything else and the formality of the occasion. And for the rest of the visit, Donald Trump certainly did everything by the book, but it was certainly an unorthodox start to a state visit for sure.
So Prince Charles met the Trumps when they arrived at Buckingham Palace, and then there was kind of an unusual handshake between the President and the Queen.
Yes, it's been interesting to see how much Prince Charles is really taking over the reins gradually, taking over more important ceremonial duties from the Queen. He and Camilla greeted Donald and Melania Trump when they arrived in the grounds of Buckingham Palace before escorting him to meet the Queen, which is an interesting, almost fist bump moment. But
That's the PewDiePie bro fist, it is. The PewDiePie bro fist, so I guess they're not up to the latest internet craze. Just kidding. I think what's actually happened, she sort of put her hand out like this, as the Queen does, and Donald Trump sort of didn't want to sort of grab her whole hand, so he's just sort of holding her hand like that, and it looks like he's doing a fist pump, but he's not.
between Donald Trump and the Queen. He was probably on his best behaviour because you remember last year he was widely criticised for walking in front of the Queen, which is considered a breach of protocol when they're at Windsor Castle.
Looks like he's wearing a dress there, doesn't he?
Considered a breach of protocol.
There we go. He's got like a little skirt going on. That's so funny. How the wind's caught his jacket there. It looks like he's wearing a little tutu. I'm sure the lefty media will get onto that one. It's quite funny.
When they're at Windsor Castle. So he was probably trying to do the right thing this time, but perhaps got a little bit uncomfortable or overawed by the occasion and had a unusual fist bump moment.
I love it how awkward Americans are with royalty. I think he's just kind of, she's done that thing with the women put their hand out. Looks like a fist bump, but it's
and
not.
he's tried not to grasp
Grab
it. Yeah. Thanks,
Because
Laura.
she's 93.
Yeah, the poor thing.
All right. No, thanks, Laurel.
Okay, so there we go. It's my first video in a new house. How do you like it? I've got my bed over there. It's actually quite a big room, this one. I've managed to turn it into a bedroom, studio, computer room, everything all together. It's about 5 metres by 4 metres. It's got an ensuite as well, so it's a bit messy at the moment. I've got boxes everywhere, but just sort of managed. I've got my blue light, my lovely Dolby digital light. Let's focus on that. I like my little Dolby digital light. There we go. Dolby Digital. So I had that in my home theatre, and I've used it in my studio now. So we can click on this. I'll have to do a video on the software I'm using. I'm using a thing called QDSLR Dashboard, and it works quite well. You can I can use my digital SLR camera as a webcam. It's working really well. I quite like it, and because you can use more like cinematic lenses, like I'm using a 50mm 1.8 Nikon lens there, so it's looking pretty good. It really blurs the background out quite well, so it gives a more cinematic look than a normal webcam, which I quite enjoy. So there we go. Sorry, I'm a bit down at the moment. I've got a bit of a sore throat and a cold. It's beginning of winter here in Australia, and I've picked up a bit of a cold, but all good, all good. A bit tired, but we'll get there. And so there we go, my first royal video in my new house. So I'll see you next time, guys, and cheerio.